From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims. Well, good morning, my beautiful people of TikTok. We got quite the roll this morning to go over. I've got breaking news information related to the Sebastian Way Rogers case. But before we get started on Sebastian Way Rogers, I'd like to go back just a little bit in time. This right here is Rexhurman, and he is known for the Gilgo serial Killer out there in Long Island, New York. And he has been accused of unaliving over 5 women that he has been charged with at this moment. This was a case that really unwound, I would say, I don't know, in the 90s, like 2010 is when Shannon Gilbert disappeared. Anyways, their road in Massapequa, their home has been searched multiple times, and now his estranged wife is selling their home and moving away. She wants nothing more to do with it. Their house was kind of dilapidated anyways for the surrounding areas. And it was just one of these things where I think they need a clean break. A lot of bad things happened inside that home. And the seller, the new buyer, is saying that $700,000 is a great deal for this property, despite the claims of the stuff that went on there. I mean, they were digging up the yard looking for, people. So, this guy maybe tearing down the house. I don't know. The bad juju, I have no earthly idea. But Asa Ellerup is selling the home. Her and her 2 children are moving away. She has been married to this man since the early 90s. And it's just been crazy because he's done such incredibly horrible acts to working women, escort type women. Also, new information out. We'll get over to Sebastian Way Rogers, but you guys have to hear this. So I don't know if you guys know, but Alec Murdaugh, he obviously was found guilty for homicide related to his wife and son. And he was found guilty of multiple financial crimes that gave him a life sentence or 40-year sentence, something like that, related to the financial crimes aspect. Well, some investors or 2 businessmen purchased the property for $3.9 million shortly after his conviction. And they never really wanted the house. They wanted the farm or the area, the 1,700 acres, mostly for hunting, farming and other things. They really had no desire for the house. So they actually split the house apart from the property and turned around and sold the house. Well, the gentleman that purchased the house for $1 million He tore down the kennels, the dog kennels, but he kept the shed attached to him that had the actual pew-pew markings inside the shed, and is now proclaiming he doesn't believe Alec could have possibly done it. And we know that there is some hinky stuff going on with Becky Hill. She was the clerk of courts during his homicide trial, and she has been accused of tampering with the jury. Now, they already went through one phase of taking the jury tampering to a higher court and were not successful. And now this new one is going to the courts and very well may get him retried. Now, with this information, is this going to tip it over? I really have no earthly idea about Alec Murdaugh, but it sounds like he may be up for a new trial in that case. And you guys are going to want to stick around here because we have bombshell information related to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. We are going to put the kibosh on any further conversations about one key aspect in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. However, this right here is a case that's near and dear to me. This is Michael Monkey Vaughn, and he disappeared some 45 days after Summer Wells disappeared from her home in Hopkins County, Tennessee. This was in Fruitland, Idaho. This case has been sent over to the DA's office for some time. Stacy and Sarah Wandra have been accused of doing something with this child. They're a neighbor that lives in a community across this one small street, and they have not brought this prosecution forward. And he has been missing since February 27th, 2021. We're about to move over to the 4th year, and he has not been found, but they did find some evidence on the Wandra property that the law enforcement believes this child is no longer with us, and that 4 people may have had a hand in this case as to why he is gone. There is a progressed photo from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. If you've seen this boy, please reach out to your law enforcement. Oh, the neighbor, Susan. This is from my state. This is from... oh, the neighbor, Susan. This is from my state. This is from my state. This around law for firing a weapon through a closed door, which struck one of her neighbors, and her neighbor succumbed to that injury. Well, she was found guilty yesterday of the negligent, I can't remember exactly what, but it sounds like it's manslaughter or something like that. I can't remember the actual charge. She was found guilty and received 25 years. She didn't speak on her own defense. She opted not to take the stand, but then it speaks to the judge, and I think she did herself a disservice. She had absolutely no remorse, and she came with a bunch of complaints as to why she did what she did. Again, trying to justify her actions when there's no justification. This woman took this mother away from her 4 children. It sounds like there was potentially racism of some sort involved in this whole dynamic, and it led to the events that happened that left a mother of 4 deceased in front of her children. So this lady did a lot of damage to at least 4 children's life, and the judge took that into consideration and slapped her with 25-year sentence, a 25-year sentence. Now, yesterday I was talking about the John Benet Ramsey case in conjunction with the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, because we learned from Seth Rogers that when he arrived on the scene where his son disappeared from, it was known that he could just walk right up on the yard, right into the house. Nobody stopped him. Nobody credentialed him. And he was able to move into the house, and not just into the house, but walk freely to his son's room. And this was a major contention in the John Benet Ramsey case, because this was also a missing girl, and the law enforcement allowed family and friends to come in and trample the crime scene and contaminate that very crime scene that she was at. And I just found it awfully, I want to say funny, but it's not a good funny, because this case happened over 30 years ago. And John Benet Ramsey has never been found, or she's been found, but her assailant has never been found or convicted. And a lot of this has to do with the contamination of her home during those critical hours. And I have to say that really does bode right in with the Sebastian Waindrake Rogers case. Sebastian Waindrake Rogers is a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from inside his home and has not been seen or heard from since. I did a live yesterday. It was quite a researched live, because, I have my opinions. I know the people out there on social media have their opinions about Sebastian Waindrake Rogers and about the inconsistencies from his mom and stepfather, but I try to remove my opinion. I do have an opinion that he did not walk out of that house willingly. I feel like he was taken out of the house. That's just my personal opinion. But I have to strip that away, because at the end of the day, this child left that home. This child was not in the home by the time law enforcement got to the home. And we've heard from law enforcement over and over again that there are no camera footage of this boy walking out of the house. Now, he would have taken the front door. There's a neighboring camera across the street that would have picked up the door opening and the door closing at whatever time that happened. That never happened. So how in the world would this child either willingly or unwillingly leave this home undetected by the many cameras in this community? You might be shocked, but in this, on my YouTube channel, it says breaking news, secret door. It was about an hour long, about 40, 50 minutes long, live, where I outlined exactly where I think that the only spot on the home that would not be picked up by these cameras, these neighboring cameras. So I hope you go over there and check that live broadcast out. But one of the things I didn't go over was this critical piece of information that all of us have been waiting to hear. Now, before I get over to that, I also did a live yesterday. This is a new renewed push for Samantha Fiddler. Samantha Fiddler, this is a case from 2016. This wrestler in the making moved to Florida from Canada with her boyfriend, Teddy Hart, also another well-known wrestler, and she was going to be trained in a Florida training center before she disappeared. She disappeared right about the time they stopped filming for this reality TV of the inside life of this wrestler and stuff like that. And the producer actually made some comments that Teddy was going to unalive somebody. And this was a year or so before this woman here disappeared. She was only in the state of Florida for several months prior to her disappearance. And many people believe her boyfriend, Teddy Hart, is responsible. But the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is making a renewed push on her case in hopes to finding out additional information. If you know who Samantha Fiddler is, or you've seen her back in 2016, please reach out to 1-800-226-1140. 800-226-1140. All right, guys, the bombshell information that you need to know about the Sebastian Waindrake Rogers that has been on everybody's mind for a really long time was the stepfather eating dinner on February 25th around 6 p.m. at night. Many people have said that he had a 4-day weekend. He had to have been home. He was in the area for a poker game. Is any of that true? Well, the team at Night Intelligence Agency, which partners with Dog the Bounty Hunter, has been turning over every rock and every stone related to the Sebastian Way Drake Rogers case. And they have been really hitting on some of the areas that have had the people very confused for a while. What's true and what is not true. I have been very cautious about how I handle the Texas Roadhouse because I truly believe that at the beginning, I thought the stepfather was home. And for several months, I think maybe 2 months up until about April, middle of April, May time, is when I realized that it's a possibility, a good possibility, that this man never came home that weekend. There was household problems that we uncovered. We learned that there was a CPS call recently prior to him going to this job in Memphis, Tennessee. It seemed like he's trying to get Sebastian out of the house. They're having marital problems. They're having all these sorts of problems that are leading people to believe that there is a separation, if you will, of the mom and the stepfather, and they're trying to figure out their path forward as husband and wife, and that path forward does not include Sebastian Way Drake Rogers, and it caused Chris to reach out to the father, Seth Rogers, to ask him to take Sebastian full time. Well, a lot of speculation has been around the restaurant. And we have now officially confirmed, At Night has independently confirmed that CP, the stepfather, Sebastian Way Drake Rogers, was not present with KP at the Texas Roadhouse in Hendersonville, Tennessee on February 25th. This was a location where Sebastian consumed his last meal, February 25th. This was a location where Sebastian consumed his last meal. A lot of people believe that CP was home that weekend. And if he was in the area, he would have been staying at his mother's or his sister's house because, like I have said for many months, the neighbors have stated that the one thing that was missing that weekend was the stepfather. So I think we can finally put that speculation to bed. CP, the stepfather, was not with the mom and Sebastian Rogers at dinner at the Texas Roadhouse Grill. I have confirmed that this has been absolutely confirmed and verified. He was not there. So I thought this was an important message to you guys. Again, go over to my YouTube, The Secret Door. This was a breakdown of where I truly believe Sebastian would have had to walk out on his own or forced out with, unwillingly leaving the property. There are two spots, one that I think is the most probable for exit undetected from a local Ring doorbell camera in their community. And this is just also a reminder, guys, because of the credible information that At Night and Dog the Bounty Hunter has been receiving and the fact that leads are pouring in, they have now increased the reward to $200,000, and this is for the safe return of Sebastian Way Drake Rogers or the successful prosecution of those involved in his disappearance. So that kind of gives you the round of our cases today, just a few updates on prior cases. There is one case that I did kind of jump over that I'm just going to take a few moments for. And this is time for our dumbest content creator in the news, okay? This is one for the books. I cover a few, social media content creators doing some really dumb stuff. And this one is no different. Social media influencer arrested after her filming herself getting ready to steal from stores using fake barcodes. There is our dumbest content creator in the news today. Now, this person recorded themselves, 22-year-old influencer on TikTok, nonetheless, which has almost 300,000 followers, and she is showing them how to steal from stores. Shame on you. You know what? When you steal, it causes all of our prices to go up. And this is in my state. Cape Coral Police Department in Florida responds to this target, and she's using fake barcodes at the checkout counter to walk away with some $500 in merchandise. We say no to crime here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We say yes to doing the right thing all of the time. Sometimes doing the right thing is really hard, especially when you don't have a lot of money and Christmas time is coming. But please, your freedom is worth more than anything. So don't do anything stupid that's going to jeopardize your freedom and paint you as a thief. There's a few things in this world I can't stand, and that's a liar and a thief. And I tell you what, I will distance myself quicker from anybody, especially stealing. Sticky fingers, nobody can trust somebody that's willing to steal. So I don't know what's wrong with this woman. It sounds like she's got a good content creation, and has a good following. Why she would be doing illegal conduct, and not just illegal conduct on live and teaching other people to do it. I just say shame, shame, shame. If you guys followed her, go let her know how disgusting we think stealing is, because again, it affects all of us. And the only person that's rewarded when people steal are the bad guys. We are a law and order channel. We say no to crime. We say yes to following the rules and doing things the right way. So there you go. There's your dumbest content creators in the news as well. You guys have a great Tuesday. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, please be kind to one another. It's the holidays. God bless.